Hello, this is Angelia with today's wisdom. Today's wisdom comes from Daily Ohm. As we ebb and flow through life, changing roles. As we bob and weave with the ebb and flow of life, our roles change. But our true self remains constant. Because they're saying, like, you wear many hats. You are who you are, but sometimes you take on different roles in life that cause you to change a little bit and change the way you do things. Spiritual beings having a human experience, we go through many aspects of humanity in one lifetime. And we are spiritual beings. A lot of people don't know that, don't believe that, or whatever. But if you came from Creator and He put His Spirit in you, and you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And excuse me, we start out as babies, move into toddlers, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, middle adulthood, where we're getting sandwiched a little bit. We got the kids on one side and the parents on the other side. Then old age, where you have to slow down and do other things. So you're gonna have a lot of roles in your life. Living in the material world of opposites, labels, and classifications, we often identify ourselves by the roles we play, forgetting that these aspects shift and change throughout our lives. And that's true. We live in this world, the world, and it's a material world. And a lot of people want to paint it black and white. Everything is all this or whatever. And that's never true, because there's always exceptions to rules. There's always gray, areas. The world can be rough. Labels. One part of my family are big labelers. They call a person this, they decide you're this, that's how they deal with you from there on out. It doesn't matter if you're not that, it doesn't matter if you change or whatever, that's how they deal with you. And people are bad about that, and that comes from, a very limited, primal attitude where, you do label things. And, that's not good. Classifications, we classify everything as this, that, or the other thing. And we identify ourselves by the thing we're doing. We're like when people say, what do you do? The first thing you think is your job. And that's what they expect you to answer is your job. But, there for a while, I was like, someone asked me, and I'd say, well, for money, I do this. But here's what I really, am about. And that would surprise people, because they expected you just to give the job title. But that's not always who we are. It's like I tell people, some of my coaching clients, I was like, you do things for money. We have to do things for money. But that don't have to be who you are. You need to incorporate who you are, what you want to do with your life, into your life. It can be after work or on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever. But you need to do that in order to stay emotionally and mentally healthy. And these aspects are going to change, and shift throughout your life. Because I think they said the average person has like 11 jobs now throughout their lifetime. Like I said, you go from one stage to another, you become parents, you become caregivers, and so, it's always in flux. You're always changing. But when we anchor ourselves in the truth of our being, that core of spirit within us, we can choose to embrace the new roles as they come, knowing that they give us fresh perspective on life and a greater understanding of the lives of others. So, you know who you are at the core. There's a basic you, that you were created to be. And stuff happens, and you have to do things. And sometimes that's nurtures your being, and sometimes it, is detrimental to your being. But if you stay grounded and centered, you can navigate these changing things with less trauma and drama in your life. And like I said, we all embrace new roles, whether you want to or not sometimes. It is going to you're going to learn and grow. Some people call it earth school. You're going to learn and grow here on earth. And it's like the Kelly Clarkson song, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, it can also lead you to have more understanding and compassion for other people, which leads to more love in your life, and that is good for everybody. As children, we anticipated role changes eagerly in our rush to grow up. And if you remember back as a kid, you did. Oh, I can't wait to be, going to school. I can't wait to be 10. I can't wait to be 13. I can't wait to be 16. I can't wait to be 18. Can't wait to be 21. And, we're in a hurry. Though fairy tales led us to believe that happily ever after was a final destination, the truth is that life is a series of destinations, mere stops on a long journey filled with differing terrain. There's women have written books on that about happily ever after and all that stuff. It would be amazing if your life went so smoothly, you were happily ever after, you never got upset, angry, mad. That's not reality. Those are fairy tales. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be disappointed. Your expectations are what's going to disappoint you, not the surroundings. Just keep that in mind. Life is a series of steps. You'll go through this, and then that'll stop and change, and then you move on to this. It's like chapters in a book. And sometimes the stories go along smoothly, and sometimes there are problems, and it's all just part of life. We may need to move through a feeling of resistance as we shift from spouse to parent, leader to subordinate, caregiver to receiver, or even local to newcomer. In the beginning, and this is where a lot of men have problems. I learned this from, listening when I was shadowing a counselor, and a lot of men think that when they have kids, the wife suddenly is not interested in them anymore. They're jealous of their own kids because the wife used to pay them all this attention. Now suddenly she's paying all this attention to the kids because, hello, kids can't take care of themselves. And the men get jealous and think the wife doesn't need them anymore. And I actually heard a guy I used to know, a friend of mine, say, well, when we had the kids, she didn't need me anymore. She didn't pay me any attention. It's like, hello, she's taking care of your child. Yeah, of course she's tired at night because taking care of a kid is not easy. So a lot of men fall into that pit where, they go from being a spouse to a parent, and they're not just emotionally up for the job. And leader to subordinate. There at last, I was the boss. I was in charge, and I can't go back to work. I'm doing good to make a few videos every day. Some days I can't even do it. But if I was to come in as a subordinate, I would probably have a problem with that, because I would probably, now wait, no, that's a dumb decision. What you need to do, because I'm used to being the one in charge. But we can't always be in charge. I am subordinate to my body right now, honestly, because there are things I would love to do. There are things I'd like to do every day and get done every day, but I can't do it. Can't do it every day. I have good days where I can, and I'm like, yes, because I got this stuff done. But a lot of days like today, I'm not going to get, more done. I'm not going to get a podcast in. I'm not going to get to do, any songs or anything, because I'm just not going to have time. And that's because I've been moving slow. It's hot here today. That caused me to move slow. I've had a few little chest pains, so, the humidity is not good for me. So, in a way, I am a subordinate to my body now, because it's in charge pretty much, because if I don't let it be, it kind of corrects me rather harshly sometimes. Caregiver to receiver. You used to being the parent and taking care of your kids and everything, and then like my father, he had a stroke. He fell, and then he needed someone to help him, and so I was going over there helping him, and I had to help him with clothes and things like that. I had to see him, in a state that I never want to see my father in, and take care of his physical needs. So that was a kind of different thing, a little cognizant dissonance there, because you don't expect to have to physically care for your parents, but eventually we all will to some extent. Excuse me. We all know when you move somewhere new, you're new and people are going to treat you that way, and you know, where are you from, and blah blah blah. So we know that's a thing. It can be helpful to bid a fond farewell to the role that we are leaving before we welcome the new. A lot of people have that. I had a retirement party when I knew I had to retire for good, except for, you know, working on a video. We had a retirement party. Went to a local restaurant. You know, I got a few little presents, and you know, we had a little retirement party, and you know, everybody should do that. Just kind of as a marker of now this stage of my life is over. Now I'm beginning this new stage. You know, because it helps you to process that, which you know is important. This is the purpose of ceremonies in cultures throughout the world and across time. We can choose from any existence to create our own, to help us celebrate our life shifts and embrace our new adventures. And of course, like I said, you know, people have different ways of doing this throughout the world, or you can just make your own. You know, I heard of a woman had a divorce party. Her divorce was final. She invited all her friends, and they had a big divorce party. They went out to dinner, and then they went to a club, and you know, everybody's different. I wasn't celebrating when I got mine. I was rather unhappy about it. Like actors on the stage of the world, our different roles are just costumes that we inhabit and then shed. So, you know, we, like I said, we have many different hats we try on, and then sometimes we move on. You know, each role we play gives us another perspective through which to understand ourselves and the nature of the universe. Because we learn everything we go through, we learn something from it. It could be positive, it could be negative, but I guarantee you, every experience that you have in life, you're going to learn something from it. When we take a moment to see that each change can be an adventure, a celebration, and a chance to play a new part, we may even be able to recapture the joyful anticipation of our youth as we transition from one role to the next. And usually that's not how we feel, but it'd be nice if we could, you know. If you have a positive outlook about it, you know, you can feel good about it. So, as we ebb and flow through life, like I said, sometimes it's, there's another song, some days are diamonds, some days are stones. Life is like that. And, you know, we change roles as we go on through time, and if we think of it in a positive way, it makes it easier than if you're thinking about negative. Oh no, now this is over, I don't know, I'm going to go into this, and I mean, I've seen people like just dreading retirement, just like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself, and you know, it's like everything you always wanted to do when you were a kid. That's what you do. But you know, so you know, keep that in mind, have a positive outlook when things are changing. Think about it. Please like and share this wisdom so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's all for now. Until next time.